Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla.
All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. And this morning, I'm going to talk about a myriad of topics, but my main topic that I want to convey and talk to you about today is going to be of transgender men invading real women's spaces. But before I get into my main topic, I always want to go into my little spiel and talk to you about some things that's been on my mind. When I wake up in the morning, I really, really love to go into some little thoughts or little things that I've seen around the sector. So good morning to everybody. I want to first start off by saying that I hope that everybody woke up this morning with a fresh new start on their mind. Do not dwell on the past. The past was yesterday. Today is a new day. So get up every morning fresh and new, and you put your best foot forward. Make today count. All right. So here's the thing. I have been looking around YouTube. I like to go from place to place. And the first thing I seen was I saw Miss Sansaray this morning. Sansaray, I post quite a bit of her stuff on my community tab. And, she is a content creator. She talks about various issues on her YouTube channel. And I support her. I am subscribed to her channel. There was a big thing a couple of years or maybe 3 years back where she kind of disappeared from YouTube and people thought that she had deleted herself, so to speak. And so there was that big, altercation. But thank God, she's still here amongst the living. It turned out that wasn't true. She came out on her own channel and she made statements saying that she just needed a break, with cyberbullying. People were kind of, just kind of weighing down on her. So, I'm not going to knock the sister or whatever, it is what it is. But, this is just to give a background as to who Miss Sansaray is. So, I went on to her community tab like I do every morning. I always try to get inspiration from different YouTubers that I'm subscribed to. And she had a post up there where she was pretty much just going in on her subscribers. And basically she was saying that, she only gets 12 Patreons and, she doesn't get that much support like that. And so therefore she doesn't feel like she has to put out the content, that people want her to put out. She said when people start supporting her more, that's when she's going to give more content, something to that, she said something basically on that vein. And so I was reading the comment section and her subscribers went in on her this morning. I don't know. You guys have to really go over to, I think she calls herself the Black Macho, and take a look at that community tab. They went in on her. They was like, oh, so the 12 people that subscribe mean nothing? Wow, and basically times are hard, which I understand. Times are hard. We are going through, I really believe that we are in a recession. So people just maybe don't have it like that to be subscribed or, be on someone's Patreon, but she's complaining about the lack of support, the lack of financial support. So I just wanted to differentiate and make you understand when content creators come on here and they complain about the lack of support, they're not talking about your subscribership. They're talking about monetary support. So Sansa Ray was basically up this morning dry complaining about monetary support to her subscribers and saying that she's not going to put out content, until people, get pay up, give her that moolah la la la, you know. So I kind of felt a kind of way about that because I am also subscribed to Sansa Ray. When she goes live, I do give my support when content creators go live. I will, send a super chat or whatever. But, times are hard. People are not going to subscribe or, hit, become a monthly Patreon or whatever to every YouTube person that they're subscribed to. I think I'm subscribed to over 50 people on here. If I were to hit everybody's Patreon, I probably would be broke. It's just too much. So, I don't know what Sansa Ray was doing as far as, what she said to her subscribers. I would never, ever tell people who are subscribed to me, who are part of my channel membership, who hit a Patreon. If you show me monetary support, that is voluntary. That means that you value my content enough to want to pay for it on a regular basis. And most of the YouTube channels that I know where they have like a lot of Patreons and a lot of people hitting their channel membership, it took them years to get to that point. So, Sansa Ray is just now coming back on the scene, and she is, she hasn't put in the work. Like I've seen videos of Sansa Ray, and they're mostly shorts where other people are talking, but she has like this video of herself down in the corner and she's chewing on something. So for me, I'm not going to pay for content that you're putting out, and this is other people talking, and you basically at the bottom of the screen, you're not talking, you're not adding to the subject, you're just chewing on something. And see, that's the grift that I really don't respect. Now, I like her content where she comes on and she gives her point of view about a subject matter. Now, to me, that's more respectful. I will support you in that content. Like I said, I may come in, I might super chat, I might share. Like I shared one of her streams earlier today. But, when a content creator goes to their subscribers and they're complaining about lack of support, you're only looking at monetary support. And that's it. But there's many different ways that people can support your channel. Like I said, sharing the video, like the video. And by the way, people, if you're coming in, please like the video, because that forces the algorithm to push the video out so that it can see. Other eyes can get on it. Share the video. Those are ways that people support. Subscribers is a way of support. So, Miss Sansa Ray just now coming back on the scene after we thought she was dead, and complaining about the lack of support. And all she's doing is putting out videos and little shorts that other people, by the way, other content creators created the videos. And she's just down at the bottom chewing on something. I don't think that's worth me joining your Patreon for. First, show me the level of content creator that you are. And if I feel like it's worth me paying my money, then I'm going to make that commitment. But you can't shame people, strong arm people into paying their money. Exactly, Miss King. Queen Sunkiss is craziness. It's craziness. DOT, what are you talking about, Faith? That's not entirely true. Good morning, business-minded talk in the house. Good morning. All right, y'all. So that's enough about me going in on Sansaray. And, like I said, personally, I just think that's foolishness. I think it's foolishness. And, girl, bye. That's all I got to say. Girl, bye. All right, so moving right along. And Miss Sunkiss, you know what? That whole topic that you had on your show the other day about breastfeeding, it really, really got me to thinking. And I do want to broach that subject before I get into my main topic. And the reason I do is because, hold on a second, let me get this off the screen. The reason I want to broach that is because I think it is a sensitive subject. Now, I think that breastfeeding is a beautiful thing. Here's a picture of two women, in a breastfeeding advertisement, a black woman, a white woman, and they have their babies and they're out in public breastfeeding. I think that something like this needs to be promoted. It is very, very important. And there's some people that feel as if public breastfeeding is the same as public nudity. And I just want to go on record as saying that no, it isn't. It is not the same as public nudity. Now, if you look at this picture right here that I'm showing on my screen, these women are not exposing themselves to the public. They have their babies on their breasts. The babies are eating. Babies gotta eat, okay? And when a baby is hungry, it doesn't matter the time or the place. The baby has got to eat, y'all. So if you have a mother that's sitting in a restaurant and the mother is in the restaurant eating and she has a baby and the baby wants to eat, guess what? Mama has to pull that breast out and she has to feed that baby because that baby eats, the baby's food is the breast milk. I want you all to understand. Now, some people have argued that she should have some decorum about herself if she's going to be doing that in public, or she should go somewhere else private and breastfeed. And here's my answer to that. Some people have relegated breastfeeding mothers to public restrooms to breastfeed. I want you to understand how unsanitary that is. I've actually heard people say this. That's really unsanitary. Not to mention, the public restroom stinks. Do you really think that it's okay to tell a breastfeeding mother to sit in a stinky, smelly, unsanitary restroom so that their child can eat? Or better yet, would you go into a public restroom, sit there and eat a whole meal? If you wouldn't eat a meal in a public restroom, why would you expect a breastfeeding mother to give their child a meal in a stinky, smelly public restroom? I've heard all types of people saying all types of stuff about, when, where, and how a mother should breastfeed. But on the flip side, even though I feel that mothers should be able to breastfeed anytime, any place, I also feel that you should not be a nigga about it. You see what I'm saying? Now, there are some women, and I have seen this on many, many occasions. There are some women that will just pull their whole breast out and expose the titty, the nipple to everybody, anytime, any place. Your man could be sitting there. It could be kids around. It could be, they just have no decorum about how they're doing it. Now, that I don't agree with. I don't think that you should just be exposing your bare breast out to the public, talking about you breastfeeding. Now, there's a proper way to go about doing that, and there's the nigga way about doing that. And see, what I don't like is some people trying to pass off the niggerish activity as being acceptable. And so I want to draw a line in the sand and show you some pictures. So here's a picture of a woman breastfeeding, and she has on what you call a breastfeeding shawl. And these shawls are not expensive. You can buy them online for like $5, $6. Maybe the more expensive ones would be a little bit more, like $50. But the median cost is anywhere between $5 to $20 for one of these. So they're not expensive. That's number one. If you can buy yourself a Gucci bag, you can afford to buy one of these. And what this does is it allows you to latch the baby on to the breast, and your breast is covered, and the baby also has privacy. Okay, now there are going to be people who argue my baby has to breathe. That is a legitimate argument. Okay, so in this next picture, this woman has her breastfeeding shawl on in such a way, and if you look, her breast is covered, the baby's head is covering the nipple and the areola, and look, she even has a space for her baby to breathe. So there is no excuse for you being a nigga about the situation and just, pulling your titty out and exposing your titty, the areola, the nipple, and everything else to everybody in the public. Like I said, there's a right and a wrong way to do things, and you can do things where it's respectful to yourself and the general public. Nobody wants to see you sitting up here bearing your naked titties to the entire world. So, while once again, I do believe that a woman should be able to breastfeed anytime, any place, anywhere, anytime. There is a right and a wrong way to do it. And as you can see here from the pictures that I am showing to you and illustrating, there is a way that you can do it and you can do it in such a way that you're not exposing your body. The baby has privacy. The baby can breathe. Nobody is in any type of dire danger of suffocating. And you're being respectful to yourself. You're respecting yourself and you're respecting others. The problem that I have with a lot of women that go on this whole tirade about breastfeeding is that they feel as if they don't have to be respectful in the act of breastfeeding. And I'm here to tell you, there's a right and a wrong way. You don't have to be a nigga about it. I have seen women go online. They hit the record button on their camera just so they can pull their titty out, and they expose their entire nipple, their entire areola, and then they put the baby on. And I'm sitting up here like there's a way that you can do that without having to show everybody all of that. When I see women doing that, they're doing that on purpose. These are women that want to expose themselves. And I'm just going to go into the how and why I come to this conclusion. As you can see in this picture, this woman right here, she does not want to expose her body to the public. She simply wants to feed her baby. You can tell the women that simply want to feed their baby from the women that's trying to do something else with that scenario, and they're using the baby and breastfeeding as an excuse to publicly expose themselves. Just like when the women turn on the camcorder or hit the record button on their phone and they start recording themselves and they're not covering their body while they're doing the act. They're wanting the exposure. And see, I'm not going to sit up here and play pussyfoot about the situation. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. I'm not going to sit up here and blow smoke up your ass, tell you what you want to hear, lie to you, none of that. There is definitely a right and a wrong way to go about doing things. And when you sit up here and you hit the record button on yourself and utilize your child as an excuse for exposing your body, you are a despicable person. And you're not trying to promote anything. The only thing that you're trying to promote is what you've always wanted to promote: inappropriate behavior. Inappropriate behavior. Like I said, feed your baby, but don't expose yourself to the rest of us. We don't want to see that. Baby gotta eat anytime, any place. This right here is proof that there is a way to do that without being nasty about it. Good morning, Chef Disaster. Good morning, Juju. Yes, yes, yes. All right, y'all. So that's me on my soapbox about breastfeeding. Now you know where I stand. I believe that children should eat anytime, any place, but don't be a nigga about your shit. Cover your stuff. Cover that up. You know, the baby can eat. The baby can breathe. All of that. But, you know, there are ways to do everything. Moving right along to the main thing that I wanted to get into, and that is trans men invading real women's spaces. And I'm gonna tell you, I blame real women for not nipping this in the bud sooner. I saw this coming down the pipeline, y'all. I did. So now real women are having to share our spaces, our sports, everything with people who are not born a woman. And now I understand that, you know, being accepting of a person's sexual orientation, I understand that. But accepting a person's sexual orientation and then lying down and just allowing them to take over spaces that were carved out for you is a completely different animal altogether. And I see this as being an ongoing problem. So this is the new bathroom sign. This is only going to affect women. They are not going to mess with the men's bathroom like this. They're only messing with our bathroom. So the men's restroom is not going to have this sign. This is the new all sex bathroom, and it's only affecting real women's spaces. So now this is our bathroom signs, ladies. This is what you all pretty much was pushing for when you didn't give enough pushback on trans men invading our real women's spaces. This is what happens when you don't give pushback. So now we got to share the bathroom with men who may have gone through the entire transition, which for me, if you have a vagina, whether it be manufactured or real, absolutely use the women's restroom. Because to me, if you went through all of that to completely cut off your penis and your balls and become a woman, then yeah, you're a woman. By all means, go to the women's restroom. But we have trans men who have not gone through the entire operation. They still got beards. They got facial hair. The only thing they wearing is a wig and a dress, but they still got a penis. And they talking about, hey, I'm finna go use the women's restroom too. And see, to me, this is a problem. This is a problem because I can see the dam about to open and break on a lot of shit. So now, if a man is a pervert, and we do know that there's a lot out here, and we talking about a public bathroom, by the way, public, not private, not a porta potty, a public restroom where you're going to be encountering other people in the public, people of all kinds. And now it's already bad enough you got crazy women in the bathroom sometimes that you have to look out for. So now you got men coming in with their whole penis and their whole balls talking about they identify as a woman, whether they put on a dress or not. And we got to accept that they want to be in the women's room with us and our kids. And some of y'all don't see the problem with this. Now, what is stopping a man who's just a weirdo from saying, he gets up and he has an epiphany one morning? Ooh, now men are allowed in women's spaces. Now I can go in the women's restroom and the security guard won't stop me. What's to stop those type of guys from saying, let me go and be a predatory weirdo in one of these bathrooms because now I'm allowed? What's to stop that? What's to stop him from just, putting on a wig and a dress? He's not even gay or bi. He just wants to, be in a woman's space. So now you all have opened the floodgates to real women's spaces no longer being real women's spaces. Exactly, Chef. Nothing is stopping. Nothing is stopping it at all. But thanks to you women sitting up here want to be super supportive of everybody. Thanks to you women not wanting to draw the line in the sand because you want to be so nice. I can't stand you nice ass bitches. I'm a good person. I at least I think I am. I'm a nice woman. I want to be polite to everybody, but there's a time where I'm a bitch too. Ladies, there's a time to be a bitch, and y'all know how to be bitches. Y'all absolutely do know how to be bitches. Y'all absolutely do know how to say, we ain't the same. Now, y'all sat up here and y'all got on me because I wanted to draw a line in the sand with my better class of women. And y'all said, oh, Faith, ain't nobody better than nobody. But when you bitches get mad at each other, like BTS got mad yesterday, she put out a video talking about something, we ain't the same. Now, ain't it kind of funny how it's okay to say we ain't the same, but it's not okay to say better? I just wanted to throw that out there, by the way. I just wanted to get my little rant out about that, about the hypocrisy of some of you. But y'all real quick, though, it's not okay to say better, but we ain't the same is somehow, different. We ain't the same is the same as saying better. But at any rate, you all want to be nice and you allowed this. You want to be all inclusive and you allowed this. So now we have to share our bathroom with everybody. The men, their bathroom is going to be untouched, unscathed, untainted. So thanks a lot, you nice bitches. Thanks a lot. So I was sitting up here wondering, I was like, wow, how is this going to work? I'm in the bathroom by myself, and here a man comes wandering in. How's this supposed to work? Is he in the stall next to me? And how am I supposed to feel? Like when you're in the bathroom, understand that is the most vulnerable position that a woman can be in, because you're literally in there with your pants down. You're literally in there with your panties around your ankles. And then you got men coming into the bathroom with you, and you can't say anything. So now I gotta carry mace. I gotta carry my gun. I gotta carry everything in the bathroom with me because you bitches, you nice motherfuckers, you selectively nice motherfuckers. You know you can be bitches when you want to other women, but you selectively nice motherfuckers that don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Well, look at how they're trampling all over your spaces. Now you got men trying to get into the WNBA. Oh, and that's another thing. Brittany Griner. Let me go ahead and get her picture up here on the screen. You know, she had just, narrowly escaped being a refugee or a prisoner over in Russia. And she comes back doing a whole press conference talking about how you bitches, y'all just gonna have to suck it up. Oh, you know what? I thought I had Brittany Griner's picture downloaded in here. For some reason or another, it didn't download. But I'll just talk about that. So Brittany Griner thinks it's perfectly okay for men to compete with women in sports. Even though scientifically, it has been scientifically proven that no matter if men, undergo the surgery, if they get the hormonal imbalance surgery or whatever to balance out their hormones, make them more feminine, there's still enough testosterone left in them to make them stronger and faster than women. So when women go into sports competing against these men who allegedly got these hormone treatments, they're still going to be stronger and faster than you. You really ain't got a chance in hell of really competing with these people. But you nice bitches, I don't want to hurt nobody feelings, motherfuckers. Even though you don't mind hurting the next woman's feelings when you get mad. You all inclusive bitches. You all did this shit. You all did this. This is your fault. Because you all should have known. You all should have known that this was happening. And so now, here's how you're being rewarded. I want to play something for you. I'm music real, put it on pause. I want to play something for you. This is how you're being rewarded for you being all inclusive, being nice. Here's a message for you bitches. You nice motherfuckers, you all inclusive motherfuckers. Here's a message for you from your trans friends. This is for you.
Dangerous animal. So if you want to die on that, if you back a wild animal into a corner, they're going to become a dangerous animal. If you back a wild animal into a corner, they're going to become a dangerous animal. So if you want to die on that hill of yours of righteousness and moral majority, then you go right ahead. I dare you to try and stop me from going into a women's bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. I dare you to try and stop a transgender woman in my presence from using the bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. This is a call to action and a call to arms to everybody within the United States that are scared, worried, have children that are transgender, lesbian, bi, or gay. This is a call to action. You need to arm up. Plain and simple. Go out, buy a gun. Learn how to use it efficiently, through and through. Because the time to act is now. You need to protect yourself, and you need to protect your fellow transgender brothers and sisters and theys and thems. You need to protect the rest of us in the LGBT community, as I'm going to do myself. Because there are lots of people like me who are not afraid to die. I love my girlfriends to death, but I would rather die for them to secure their safety, freedom, and future than to live and not have anything done. So you go ahead. You protect your kids from me using the bathroom. You've been warned.
Okay. You've been warned. He put you bitches on notice. Not me. I got a gun. See, a bitch like this, a motherfucker like this, and I want you to pay attention to
Dangerous
this
animal. So if you want to die on that, if you back a wild animal into a corner, they're going to become a dangerous animal. If you back a wild animal into a corner, they're going to become a dangerous animal. So if you
look at that. That looked like a man that just grew his hair out long or put on a lace front. He still has stubble under his chin. This still looks like a man. And he is threatening women and children that if you don't let him in your bathroom with his beard and stubble on his chin and his 6 foot tall frame, he's going to exercise his right and kill one of you motherfuckers. So this is the thanks that y'all get for being all inclusive, by the way. This is a call to action, he says. And then he puts his hands up in air quotes. Yeah, so protect your kids from me. If you want to, you've been warned. This is the thanks you all are getting. I hope y'all feel stupid. I hope you feel stupid. And he is still a man with all man strength. He could fling one of these little women around leftwards and rightwards if he wants to. But he has gone to the extent of saying that he's going to get a gun on women and children. Just think about this for a second. And you all have supported this to the point that it's coming to this. And now it's too late because they have laws that protect them more than it protects you. Because anybody intervening to stop them from doing anything to you automatically will be hit with a hate crime. Because if you touch one little hair on their head, it is a hate crime, even though they're the ones being hateful. And I told you that this was going to happen. I told you. Let me see what you guys are saying down here. Chef Disaster says, you've been warned. BMT says, I've seen this go down at the club when a trans and women get into an altercation and the woman never wins. You know what, BMT? Exactly. And I'm going to tell you what happens. They intentionally pick fights with women. These are men that want to harm real women. And you are starting to see it slowly manifesting itself. They were never your friends, boo-boo. They were never your friends. They sat there, they hung around you, they learned how to look like you, they learned how to emulate you. Then and they got it down to a point where they feel as if they've gotten enough of watching you and learning from you. And so now they're fully wanting to take over. Now they're even getting to the point where they're talking about having uterus transplants. They want to transplant wombs into their bodies so that they can become childbearing women. And see, this is how this is going to backfire on them, because see, biology is undefeated. Biology is undefeated. So they think that they can simply put a real woman's uterus in their male body, and they can just like that become a childbearing woman. Do you know that women are the only ones that carry the hormone progesterone? Let's talk about that hormone progesterone for a second, because see, biology is undefeated. Undefeated. Men carry both estrogen and testosterone, but women, we are the only ones that carry 3 of the sex hormones: testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. What does progesterone do? Well, progesterone aids in a woman's body ovulating so that she can get pregnant. If you put a woman's womb in a man who does not make progesterone, what do you think is going to happen? The man body is going to reject his body is going to naturally reject that which he does not naturally have. His body is going to reject that womb because he does not make enough progesterone to keep that womb functioning. So what is he going to do? Is he going to get continuous progesterone shots so that he can keep that womb in his body? That womb will kill him. His body is going to reject it. And so these are men who are trying to invade real women's spaces, and they have been jealous of real women for a long time. And I've seen it. When I was younger and I was going out to the club, and I saw these transformers, and one of them tried to pick a fight with me one time, and I almost forgot that it was a man. One of my friends had to remind me that is a full man, and he is trying to trigger you into a fight with him. And that's what they do. They're mad. And they're raging. They're raging on real women. MP Candy says this man getting his way in this patriarchal, men side with men, trans or not. Exactly. Exactly. The Clue Channel says, ladies, if you're in an open carry state, you may have to make a few examples. I'm not encouraging violence, but I will encourage anyone to protect themselves. Protect yourself. Call to action is what he said. Protect yourselves, ladies. Protect yourselves. I find that this right here is very egregious. Very. And there was something else that I wanted to bring to your attention, but the indoctrination of Black children into becoming LGBTQ is not been missed on me either. Here's a headline that was sent to me by Commendable K. my man, Committable K. And basically it says that I can't see the writing here, but basically this famous white couple says that they knew their daughter was transgender when she was only 3 years old. 3. 3 years old. I'm crying tears for our babies. You know, Black children are the least to get adopted. And when they do get adopted, it's often by people who don't look like us. And our children are abused in this system more than any other group of children. So these two white demons, because that's what they are, demons, they got this little boy and they're saying that he's a girl. And they claim that they knew that he was transgender when he was only 3 years old. What is this? How does a 3-year-old even know anything about a sexual orientation? My 3-year-old was still playing with blocks and sucking on his thumb and slobbering, and gurgling and being a baby. That's what my 3-year-old was doing. He was running around and, exploring things in the house. He didn't have a sexual orientation at 3. I find that children are asexual. Why are we pushing sexual orientation on children? This is disgusting. Hold on, Doug. Let me see your previous comments. Okay, Doug says California and New York children can transition without parental consent. See, this is what I'm talking about. They are trying to create a nation of LGBTQ. They're trying to create this. Because for the most part, most people, most children are not born with a sexual orientation. A lot of this stuff is learned behavior. A lot of this stuff is learned. A child grows up, they see mommy, they see daddy, and they learn their gender roles from there. But if a child grows up and they see mommy and daddy, then they're going to grow up learning something completely different. But they're trying to convince the rest of us that people are just born this way. They're trying to say that they knew that this boy was transgender when he was only 3. Tell me, how exactly is that possible? That a 3-year-old knows anything about a sexual orientation? This child should be immediately removed from these people's household because they are crazy. But you know what? 9 times out of 10, they're not going to take this Black child from these rich white people. If this was Black people talking like this with a white child, they would not let this go on. Just flip the script a little bit. 2 Black people, 3-year-old white boy, and they put a dress on him. How fast do you think Children and Family Services would be all up in there? Would we be able to indoctrinate their children to be gay like they're doing with ours? And once again, I don't have anything against gay people, LGBTQ, whatever. I am very tolerant. I don't agree with that lifestyle, but I'm a live and let live type of person. But it's getting to the point where they are not allowing us to live and let live. They are trying to force and impose themselves onto what we believe and how we want to raise our children. They are even forcing the school system to teach this in elementary school. Once again, what has who you want to sleep with got to do with educating children? Your sexual orientation have nothing to do with educating children. Period. Why are we teaching this to kids in school? If a child grows up and they go through a natural process of wanting that, then so be it. But why should we shove this down our children's throats? What are we doing here? And I blame the Democrats. I do. I can't wait until the Biden administration is the fuck out of the office. I can't wait until the Democrats are no longer in power, because this is what we're getting. Now we're getting trans people in the women's bathroom. Men, they don't even bother to put the dresses and the wigs on anymore. They can just come into your bathroom. And now we got men, trans men with beards and stubble on their chin, threatening women and children. That if you say anything to them or try to keep them from using your bathroom that was supposed to be just for women, they're going to shoot you for protecting your children. So you just go right ahead, he said, and protect your children. Oh, should I play the video one more time for the people that just got in here? You go ahead and protect your children. You've been warned.
Dangerous animal. So if you want to die on that, if you back a wild animal into a corner, they're going to become a dangerous animal. If you back a wild animal into a corner, they're going to become a dangerous animal. So if you want to die on that hill of yours of righteousness and moral majority, then you go right ahead. I dare you to try and stop me from going into a women's bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. I dare you to try and stop a transgender woman in my presence from using the bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. This is a call to action and a call to arms to everybody within the United States that are scared, worried, have children that are transgender, lesbian, bi, or gay. This is a call to action. You need to arm up. Plain and simple. Go out, buy a gun. Learn how to use it efficiently, through and through. Because the time to act is now. You need to protect yourself, and you need to protect your fellow transgender brothers and sisters and theys and thems. You need to protect the rest of us in the LGBT community, as I'm going to do myself. Because there are lots of people like me who are not afraid to die. I love my girlfriends to death, but I would rather die for them to secure their safety, freedom, and future than to live and not have anything done. So you go ahead. You protect your kids from me using the bathroom. You've been warned.
You've been warned. Protect your kids from him using the bathroom. You've been warned. And so they can sit up here and put videos out like this, threatening a whole group of women and children, and they're protected. If you go to protect yourself, 9 times out of 10, they're going to charge you with a hate crime on top of protecting yourself. I want to send a shout out for the $10 super chat, and that is from the Living Life channel with the $10 super chat. Thank you. As always, I show my appreciation for anybody that contributes to the channel. Contributions are always appreciated. So thank you so much. Doug posted a few things down here in the chat that I wanted to highlight. And this is the reason why we need to get the Democrats out of office. He says, SB 145, California, adults having sex with minors within a 10-year age difference will not have to register to the sex offenders list. Right, Doug. Doug also posts HF 146 Minnesota, a revision to make pedos a protected class. So now not only are LGBTQ protected, now they're trying to protect pedophiles. What about the children? But we got a bill that's here to protect pedophiles. Get these Democrats out of office. Get these Democrats the fuck out of office. Get these Democrats out of office. Doug also writes HF 1655. Minnesota runaway children can get transition without parental consent paid by the state. And these are laws, first of all, that they're just passing. You ain't got to vote on them. They're just passing them right under your noses so that they can take the slip right out from under you as a parent. No protection for the children whatsoever. All the protection for the predator. Get these Democrats out of office. Get these Democrats out of office. This is a shame. This is a travesty. And I told you, I knew that this was coming down the pipeline. There's one thing to be tolerant. There's even one thing to be accepting and even supportive. But you don't lay down and be a goddamn doormat. When they infiltrated women's sports, I said, the damn gates are open. Women will no longer be protected. Because what is a woman? Now they're having a debate about what is a woman. Because we don't know what biology is anymore. And I just broke it down to you. Women are the only ones that carry 3 sex hormones. That is a woman. We're the only ones that have a womb naturally that can give birth, give life to other human beings in this world. We have periods. We go through menopause. We go from girlhood to womanhood. And no man can emulate that. Because in order to be a woman, you have to first be a girl. You have to first go through those hormonal changes of being a girl. And if you're not checking off all those boxes, then you're not a woman. Now, I can accept that you want to be a woman. I can accept that. I'll even use your pronouns to make you more comfortable. But when you invade my space, that's where I draw the line. And now I can no longer tolerate or I can no longer support. So, ladies, it's time to stop tolerating and supporting because they have drawn the line in the sand. Recognize when you are behind enemy lines. And that's a fatal mistake that a lot of women make. We don't recognize that we are behind enemy lines until it's too late. We do this in our relationships with men. We do this in our relationships with other women. And now we're doing it again in our relationships with the LGBTQ community who have taken our kindness for weakness. Okay, I got Chaos Rain wants me to drop the link. Anybody that wants to come up, I guess I am going to open up the panel for a little bit. I'm going to do one at a time so people can get out whatever they want to say. But I have said my piece. So if you want to come up, if you have anything that you want to add, the floor is yours. Let me go ahead and post the link down here at the bottom. All right. There it is down there in the chat. So anybody that wants to come up and give your thoughts, I'm going to do one at a time. It's not going to be nobody debating each other. As a matter of fact, I'm going to even put myself in the back and you can just go and say whatever you have to say and then you can drop down. But this is a really, really sensitive subject, a real sensitive topic. And I'm not calling for there to be hate. I just want to really, really make that clear against the LGBT community. But I am calling for the LGBTQ community to stop disrespecting real women's spaces. That is what I'm calling for. Because biologically, you're not real women. Biologically, you're not. We can respect that you want to be a real woman. I would even, like I said, be tolerable and utilize the what do you call it, your adjectives or whatever that you want us to use. But it's getting to be a little bit much. It is. Biologically, you're still bigger, faster, and stronger than real women. So you don't have any business in real women's sports. And it is unsafe for you to be utilizing real women bathroom facilities because there's the transforming part of men who are not oriented and may have another thing in mind. And so you're making it an unsafe space for real women and you don't care. All right, so I have Chaos Rain in the back. Hold on a second, let me bring him up. Add to the stream. Hello, Chaos. What's going on?
I'm good. Hold on a second, let me do this. Hold on one second. Yeah. It's good that you're talking about this and have the actual video of a trans confused person. I mean, what he's going to do to women and children. That bill you're talking about, that bill was formulated back in 2019, or end of 2018 to go on 2019. How I know because a good friend, Mr. Short, Dr. Rain Short, revealed this and sent it to me. And I did an upload or a video on this when I first started doing YouTube. It's one of the few videos started. And reading that document, it gives the people that certain political powers, Democrats mostly, I think, not Conley, wasn't that, what's the name? Maxine Waters, one of them signed off on that. Her name's on that. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. And Blue Devil Gee had a question. He says faith is gays on the right too. Just asking. Yeah, I understand that there's gays.
They're on all levels because they push them to us. This is a Eurocentric thing. And one thing that's evident here in America, especially, that to solve what they quote unquote call the Negro problem, besides absorbing us in the society genetically, the next second best thing is confuse you sexually. They had this laid out for decades. I would say after the 60s, they already laid out said this is what we're gonna do moving forward. You get me? And a lot of black people did not really catch that memo, but this was already orchestrated. When it first, when the civil rights came, which was really going to happen anyway, the next step, because they don't want to pay nothing, to give black people nothing. That's just a small portion, and probably the highest portion outside America, 13-14% of the population. They don't want to be giving out the repair money or any real incentives to fix the problem that they cause. So what they decided to do is that we're going to accelerate the absorption process with other people, mix, mingle, procreating. And if that's not effective, the next second best thing is now we're going to confuse you sexually. Now, I'm not going to name certain content creators' names, but as you know, Faith, there are some women and some men, but there's a few women right now out there pushing that notion, but they are gay on the low and accepting it. And I think that even question certain men that is not cool, or question even the thought that it's in nature, that this is the way to go. Yes, there's certain things in nature, but we're talking about us as humans. This, unfortunately, is unnatural. And when you have to push something that's considered natural, you're in trouble. Because if it's so natural, why push it? Nature should take its course, and people are gay. Okay. They have orchestrated since the end of the 60s. Come here. LGBTQ did not really establish into an entity until 1969. That's where you see the Gay Manifesto. You can find it from George Macon. They talk about what they want to do. And this is bringing forth the fruition. So now you have them now, once they put these in bathrooms all across the countries, it's really a wrap. Even to the pedophilia. The pedophilia is the last recourse of everything else. Once you have adults that can have intercourse and even go as far as marry and procreate with young children that's under the age of 18, it is pretty much a wrap for certain sectors in the United States, if not careful. Because now say you have a decision as a parent. You're going to have to take that L, and you're going to have to take that L just to set an example. And I know most people don't want to hear this, but I say, see, my fear is this. For a person to go on TikTok, I guarantee he could do that on YouTube. If he did on YouTube and his channel still exists, I will be surprised. You get me? Because usually one thing they do, they don't promote violence towards children. And this dude just decorate violence on another platform that's a Chinese app that we don't run. And they've been talking about getting rid of that app. Because everybody's on TikTok, Faith. They're not on YouTube like that. Because TikTok is designed for short content, low attention span, dumbing down people, especially niggas. That's how I never was really thrilled about these type of content that's under a minute now. Because what they're doing, they're preparing you to absorb something, and you want to get the picture under 6 seconds. You don't learn shit from 6 seconds. I don't care how intelligent you are. And it takes a while for you to understand it for a little bit long period of time to get it. But man, actually slip up and put certain subliminal message in a 6-minute clip. This is intellectual warfare at its finest.
Yes. It's
the most dangerous form of warfare, second to propaganda. And we all know propaganda is everywhere. And I mean everywhere. You know? So to find that now that they have this guy on TikTok saying this, and how you said that they have bills which they already have already in place, right? Regardless, they sign out. If it's already written out and put out a couple years ago, it's probably implemented now. If it's not implemented this year, it probably implemented now next year. Was already put into place a couple years back that people did not pay attention to. So it's like it's only two things that's gonna happen to black people. Okay, we only can talk about this. We can't talk about everybody else. Everybody knows this homosexual thing is their thing. That either you gonna procreate with in these people, they out, or you're gonna be gay, and they're gonna force you by subversion, by propaganda, by conditioning your babies. If your babies are in these institutions, which they're going to do. We think we're really in control, but we're not really that in control because we don't understand how the playing field's set already. You know?
Yeah, they've been constructing this, like you said, for years. And a lot of these bills that Doug put on the screen, you're right, it was introduced back in 2019.
Yes.
And another thing that Doug posted, he says, I recently saw a video on Instagram of a transformer jerking off in a woman's restroom as women were entering and exiting. And see,
Oh
this is
wow.
what I'm talking about. This is precisely
Weirdo shit. Weirdo stuff. You get me?
Yeah, this is going to open the floodgates for women and children to not be protected in a very, very vulnerable space. Like I said, when you're in a restroom, just think about how vulnerable you are and what a vulnerable position you're in.
Yeah.
And now you're going to allow men to invade this space. And the current powers that be are allowing it.
Yeah.
No protection. This is what they think of their women and children. And mind you, no change to the men's room.
Yeah, no.
So if I'm a woman, Chaos, and I say I don't want to go into my bathroom, I want to go into the men's room. I can't do that. I got to still go into my bathroom. But men are allowed in my bathroom. Make this make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just another form of harming women, especially, and the children. But really, truly, the end game is really get the children. That's the real premise of all this, to get the babies, That's their real focus. They're not really focusing on anybody that's adults. They're focusing on ones that's, like I said, under the age of 18 and down. That's their focus. That's their own. The children, they can easily convert and create more weirdos. And I'm going to be nice, kind of like a call them what they are, because we're going to call them what they are. They are weirdos. You get me?
Yes, because they are.
Sit there and say you're going to beat off in front of women and children. You are sick in your goddamn head. You get me? And, man, listen. I tell people many times, I say, if you're not gotten right weapons, I say you might have to catch case. You might have to get in that jail cell a couple of times just to set a precedent. See, people don't understand, if violence is not instilled, they will not get the picture. This dude said, I'm going to instill violence right off the bat. So at times you're going to be a mass shooter in a woman's bathroom.
That's basically what he said.
So you said you just declared that you're gonna go in these public places, and if you don't get your way with your gun, and mind you, the state of Florida, if you're not known, Faith, now people could get a gun without no permit. You aware of this?
No, I wasn't.
Yes, they said by July you don't need no permit to own a gun. Now, mind you, I'm not telling people to do crazy, but keep that in mind. If this already passed and it's going to take effect in the next couple months, I guarantee it's other states. Now, a lot of people say, some states say, well, that's not good faith. And I'm saying, have you understand what you see on the internet right now? That you got weirdos that wants to go and shoot up women and children? Now, I'm not saying that people go to this, but imagine you have these weirdos right here. They're strapped ready and they go do some fucked up shit like that. It would be better that women and children at least
Doug,
got the...
hold on 1 second. Doug, get the link, because Doug is down here on a goddamn roll. He says that in Loudoun, Virginia, a transformer raped a girl in a girls' high school restroom.
Look at that.
The school board and sheriff department didn't have him arrested.
What?
and instead transferred him to another school. This is what I'm talking
Bro.
about. All the
Bro.
protection, all the protection for LGBTQ, no protection for women and children.
Yeah, if Doug come upstairs, has Doug ever came on the panel before? Doug, can you be on this panel? Yeah, Doug, come up, hit the link, man. We have this conversation. But it's like this, Faith, that this is like another step towards where if a man is sick in the head, which is a good portion out there, if they want to get away with certain things, all they gotta do is be a girl. So you're rewarding men that are mentally ill to be women so they can engage in their perversity, degeneracy. Rape is a very serious offense. And to find that he done it and they said this transfer, do you know?
But get this chaos. Doug just posted again. I really hate that Doug says he can't join right now, but he
Okay.
says then he raped another girl, still no arrest, and the father of another girl, and they arrested the girl's father for speaking out.
Oh no. Everybody remember that movie, The Time to Kill, back in the 90s? I said, you fathers, you go out to, like I said, I know you want to be with the family. I get it. God bless you. But listen, if this dude did what he did, and I'm gonna tell you this, ladies, listen good. Do you know the psychological trauma damage that's gonna happen to you when someone takes it from you and there's no real consequence? You will not be sleeping well at night. You will get spirits, demonic spirits plaguing you, unless this man meets his maker. Remember, once somebody does it, it affects you psychologically and spiritually. It will never go away. Though it really goes away, and a lot of people don't notice. I mean, it goes away once that person meets his end. And how we could verify this? I tell people, talk to anybody that was a victim of it, and at times say, what happened to that person when he met his maker? What happened? It's that her spirit, everything starts to lift because he left an imprint, psychologically and spiritually, on him. But no one's going to tell people that because they say, oh, you just suck up. No. He needs to deal with the harsh penalty, which may be his own life. Because it's going to stay with her for as long as this criminal exists.
And what I'm beginning to get the gist of is that men's lives are more valued than women's lives. And there's a hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hierarchy. So men are going to protect men whether they're trans or not. And then from
especially
there,
if they're not black men. If they're not black men, you definitely protect it. Oh, you could be protected all day, every day.
All day, every day.
Even when the lady got beaten by that football player, I did not hear no fall through after that. He's not doing no time in jail. Maybe he's still playing, maybe he's not. But the point is this, he almost killed this woman. You get me? And they had to take police to restrain him. So it lets you know, and I'm not telling fair what women to do. Black women, you do what you want. I mean, I can't control it now. But I'm letting you know right now, and as long as we still operate in this soil, there's no safety. There's no peace. You always got to be on eggshells. Because at any given moment, your life could be taken or you could be traumatized in a given second. And there will be no justice.
What I would suggest is that people, you start going to these government websites in your state and on the federal websites, and you start looking at these gay right bills that they're passing.
I agree.
Pay attention to who is signing off on these bills and get them out of office.
That's right.
Because they do not have the best interest of you and your children at heart at all. Ask yourself, why are they doing this? Yeah. Why are they doing this?
Yes. What outcome they're seeking by putting these bills in place to protect these weirdos? You get me? And another thing, and I tell people many times, I don't want people to get fooled by the one wing and go on the other side wing and say, no. This is why I tell people many times, if people are going to play the political game, you have to be neutral at this point. You get me? I don't take sides unless it's for our best interests. But we can't have this conversation here, Faye, because we have a lot of dumb people say they're conservatives. Hear about these fucking dumb niggas talking about they're conservatives? Hear about this shit?
Well, hold on a second because I'm a conservative.
Okay, all right, well, but like, all right, fine, that's fine, that's fine. So
But I do get what you're saying.
yeah.
Even being a conservative myself, I
Yeah,
do get that there are some people on the conservative side that also conform to these policies. And like I
yeah,
said, you have to be paying attention
yeah,
to the players in the game. Who are the players that you need to knock out?
yeah.
That's the
And
reason why I said, even with me being a conservative, if
but
there's a
you're involved
conservative that's
enough.
signing off, if there's a conservative that's signing off on anything like this, trust and believe I will be not voting for that person in the
And,
next election.
you see, that's fine. But like I said, there are many men, especially men in space, say they this, but they're not involved. Fake. I'm telling you right now. I'm at MOT, Mike V. They have this conversation with a lot of these black men, and a lot of these men they talk about this, but they're not involved. See, women are more involved in the political process than men. You get me? Now that sounds fucked up, but I'm being honest. Majority of men, especially in our groups, are not that involved. The only time they really get involved is when it's time to say, I'm going to go to the ballots. That is it. For the big house, White House.
This is true. This is absolutely true.
So that means they don't understand the political process, how it works. They're not studying these people, what their intentions are, what they really want, the outcomes. Because think about it. That's something that, like you said, you could look up the website and look at what bills and say, who's this person? What they follow. You could know their information from top to bottom. And say, I could make a conscious say, oh no, you're this? And you're one of mine? Oh no, you're gone. You get me? There's certain things that we will not allow, and that is to put bills in place that's going to harm the women and actually the children. When you have weirdos like this, say they could come in the bathroom, to whack off, or even go as far as take the woman's innocence.
It's a
That's
shame.
that's critical thinking. That's what I tell people many times. If you're going to play the political process, you have to be involved. And I'd agree with MOT. You have to be involved. If you sit aside, you have to be involved. And a lot of black people, especially black men, are not that involved. They're
Black
not.
men, here's a call to action. Get your booty to the pole. Yes, black men, you do have to be more involved in the political structure. You
Yeah.
have to be informed. Get informed. Doug says that this is now a global agenda. The United Nations want a global effort to decriminalization of all sexual acts, including rape
Wow.
and sex with minors. Wow.
So, and this is my thing. And this is kind of so effed up that, and let's still say, why are they trying to bring back Sodom and Gomorrah in the real world? Because we're at 8 billion people, and they're trying to rub out the certain type of people, but keep a certain other side of people. So to do that, you have to bring Sodom and Gomorrah to the world. You get me? Because with that, now you actually real stymie the people that are able to keep the procreation. You cut that in half by doing trauma, which is rape, incest, all that stuff. You get me? You build
Yeah.
so much trauma to a population. What people gonna do? They're gonna say, "I don't want to bring no life because too much pain." That's where they want people that are we're the majority than they are the minority. Once you get to that point, you start thinking like, they say, "Oh, good, it's working." Where they go, they're gonna keep implying and instill more trauma to you. That's the end game. That's the end game. So when you hear people say there's too many people, I always tell about saying, what do you mean too many people? You mean too many of certain people or everybody? Because last I checked, most black people outside America don't have a problem continuing race if there's a program within the race. But everybody else are struggling. So what to do to cut that number in half? You got to do the absorption, the LGBTQ, and even go as far as mess with them with their foods and genetically. And all that. So these are all bombs to really get a more greater effect so you get the better outcome. You have to throw everything, even the kitchen sink at this point. And you can't do that by just, convince people. You have to really put trauma. You have to make the environment so unsafe that no one doesn't want to participate. Because God knows. Imagine women know said that they find stories that these people are doing it and they can't get away with it. You don't want to participate in any part of this so-called uncivilized society. You'll shelter yourself.
That's true.
Especially if you're healthy mind. You say, and then you will say, I don't want to bring no kids in here, and they look at you. Oh, they'll say, oh, you don't think like that. But in the back of the mind, and they smile behind you, say, oh, good, one less nigga. You get me? I remember Fran's question was the lecture on this, and when she's lecturing us, she said in the back of my mind, I said, when they hear women, especially black people and women, or just women say that, they said, oh, good, that's less niggas. That's a good sign. You get me? It's a numbers game. You know, they try to do that in Africa, certain parts of Africa, which has failed. But to globalize it, you have to control enough, and you have to really control a tight knit with Africa. And right now, Africa is really controlled by other ethnic groups. But the point is this: once you try to make it as a global thing, all the degeneracy, now you set precedent that a lot of people are going to do two things: either they're going to push back or they're not going to participate. And then they get traumatized. You get me? That's why, and I tell you this: be careful of any content creator that is part of that group pushing a narrative to convince U.S. men or women to really they don't deal with the opposite sex. Be very careful now, and I'm saying this personally, fake, because we have a few of them starting to emerge now. You get me?
Yes, I see him. I see him, and I be like to myself, like, what benefits you as a woman to push the agenda of these men that they're wanting to take your place? It never made any sense to me.
It made sense
how these women could do that. But now look at the results. These are the results of your support.
Yeah, and I get it why most women will want these certain weirdos, because a lot of them are looking for friends, and then they'll take a male friend that is a weirdo as a friend. But I'm saying, what benefit you as women having these as friends? And I'm telling you, the line's got to start drawing now, because you open Pandora's box. It's not going to be closed.
But what my fear is, because all of these situations that Doug brought up, they have swept those situations under the table. There's now remember when there was black on black crime or black crime in general, black crime mostly only affected the black community. But on the 9 o'clock news, you would have thought it was a nationwide epidemic. Because every time they reported the crime, it was always a black man face being plastered across the screen. So now you got all these transgendered men, and mind you, this is mostly men, transgendered men committing all these crimes nationwide. And why are they sweeping it under the rug? Why isn't this on the 9 o'clock news like they put your faces on the 9 o'clock news every day?
Damn,
for years and years.
I never thought that, because usually you think that, because it tells you that, and I tell people many times, they need to make a boogeyman. They have to make the boogeyman. It said this black man, but if he's gay, he's safe. No, he's not. He's even more dangerous, because now he's protected. Hell, a lot of people were doing content about Don Lemon. Don Lemon's part of that group, man. He'll get another job.
Black men get killed in the street every day.
Yeah.
For no goddamn reason. No protection. Transgendered men are running around here beating up women, threatening children, molesting children.
Yep, and
and they get laws passed to protect them.
Ain't that something?
And their crimes are swept under the rug.
I don't think it's even documented if we go in the FBI. Am I right?
There should be.
If anybody could look at the FBI website, see if they document all crimes, including people that are of that group. If not, it tells you the agenda is complete.
But the thing about it is, it's dangerous because they can transform again and say that they're a straight man doing the crime. Because a lot of them were committing these crimes and they were in the closet, and then you didn't find out until later that they were transformers. So you got that factor too.
Oh wow! I didn't think of that. Yeah. Wow! This is a lot.
So Pandora's box is officially open, y'all.
I'm
Yeah.
putting y'all on notice.
Yeah. And the sad thing about this, I remember when JB did content, and there was one particular person that was part of that group that was a transsexual. I had the audacity to argue her and a few of her other female friends about you're shaming black men from being with us. I'm saying there's no person on God's earth could shame you to engage in homosexual act with another man. If he entertains it and did not know and did not do nothing to you, and lets you know that he liked it and he wanted it more than you. That's end of story. There's no such thing as bisexual men. We gotta put that on the rug. If he does it,
Who was that male YouTuber
yeah,
that came out as being gay, and he was using that one other lady as a beard. I think it was Courtney Omega, and it came out that
Madison,
he was
TJ Madison, is it Madison?
was it TJ Madison?
Yeah,
I think it was somebody else
could have Atlanta, right?
because he sent a picture of his penis to Taz.
Oh, ew. What the hell? I didn't know this. What the?
Yeah, it was a big thing on YouTube, but anyway, this guy was sitting up here, and I'll never forget, he went on his channel to come out to his male subs, and he said that he had been fighting homosexual urges for a long time.
Wow.
And then he tried to indoctrinate his male audience, talking about all black men struggle with fighting homosexuality. And I
No.
remember
What the?
looking down at his chat, and his subs was like, "Man, I'm unsubbing." He was like, "Speak for yourself. This is not all black
Bro,
men."
that's crazy. Crazy. But it tells you.
BMT, right? BMT, come up on the panel.
Yeah, come up.
Get your booty up here on the panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was woke progressive, because I think wasn't that on your panel, BMT? It was on somebody's panel. No, I think it was on woke progressive's own channel. But I remember a long time ago I was watching that, and my jaw was on the floor the whole time. I was like, is he really trying to say that black men, as a whole, as a group, grapple with homosexuality?
See, listen. Now, a lot of people say that that's untold true, but I'm thinking this. Listen, probably people that have been traumatized, they might have conflicting issues, and they need actual real help, which is still available. Because think about this, Faith, before people start coming up. The DSM-4 was designed to really label all mental illness, and once it's labeled, they have to correct it, and they got ways to correct it. The reason why they took it out back in the end of the 60s, mostly 69, going on, and it was completely removed in 73, is because now it said we got to push this, and we cannot push this if there's a way people can get actual help. So they're going to grapple, conflict it, and they're going to say it's a part of natural life. So there's no correction of it. You see that?
Wow.
Once you remove it off the diagnostic manual, that means that now you cannot seek no actual help for that if you wanted to. So I leave the floor for somebody else.
All right. So now we have coming to the stage, we have Business Minded Talk, BMT, in the house. And I believe you did actually break the story, and you exposed him. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I exposed him and also Courtney Omega. Man, those are the good old days of my old channel. Courtney Omega was a beard, but she was also dating her students in school. She came out about that because he knew that secret about her, and she knew that he was trying to sleep with like men that are like 17 and 18 and like pretty much just fresh. Like that's why he was doing a lot of a grooming process. And that came out because when I brought that out, he couldn't really push back because he was also going after a content creator named Maurice Delk's son, and trying to groom him or trying to stalk him. And literally, some women were conflicted to confront him about his behavior because he empathized with them, and wrong is wrong and evil is just evil. And also, you had that kind of bothersome behavior from NAMBLA, Man Love Boy Association, which y'all can look it up. That's actually a real association. To the shows with Devin. I'm not sure if y'all seen that. I did a whole lot of series of talking and dealing with these people, even though people are like, BMT, don't talk to these people. But I'm like, these people are in y'all spaces. They're jumping on y'all panels. They're pretending to be avatars of women. They're taking y'all same talking points and they're getting bigger channels. They're getting bigger channels. They get big enough, they flip internally. Now, this has happened plenty of times, and when you try to tell people, they just turn a blind eye. That's why I want to say, oh, BMT, weren't you sitting down with the LGBT? Yeah, but I wanted to ask them the question. They sit down at black agenda conferences, sit there, you put them in positions of power. Once they get position of power and they say, hey, black, mind you, you can look at black and LGBT or so-called conversations, we need to all come together. And then what happens at the end, what happens? Who gets their rights put on the bill and who don't?
Damn.
So
Damn.
they know how to ride. And like I said, I've done this kind of content, a gravy train for a while of the grooming process of how this has been working out and proceeding. And these stories of grooming, of saying, hey, like you got it where some women are studs, but you never see a stud go into a male bathroom. They'll still go into a woman's bathroom.
You know
And
what,
then,
BMT? That is true. I always see this coming mostly from the trans men, but the
mhm,
trans women are not trying to be,
no,
going into the men's restroom or trying out for the NBA or NFL. They're not doing that. Why is it just the trans
be-
men,
be-
just aggressively trying to take over real women's spaces?
well, because the thing about it is, it's an easy co-op. It's an easy co-op for one, numbers, getting the numbers of, they have, it's no secret that certain lifestyle of people, they do have a huge conglomerate following and funding. They have politically, socially, and they can make your career or break your career. And this is interesting because the women's movement, like Me Too, was co-opted by them. Different types of agendas have been co-opted by them. Even to, I think they even got a reparational. They even got a reparational receipt where the government paid them back taxes and all kinds of stuff for women against registry, a group of mothers lobbying to end the sexual offenders list. Like, yeah, like you got to understand, like there is like, and that's why I agree with you, Faith, on you bitches. Like you got to understand, like a lot of these types of archetypes of trans women, they go in shows with women. Like if y'all ever go see the show Orange is the New Black, they had a whole trans woman in a woman's maximum facility. And granted, who was on the cover on a lot of women's magazines? It was that individual representing and speaking for women. And you're like, wait, what's happening? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? Like I remember I used to watch that with my old lady, and I was like, how is that person in there? Like, how are y'all? Well,
I remember that on Orange is the New Black, and they made it seem like it was all good. And that takes me back to Blue Devil Gee. made a comment earlier, and I was intending to read it, but Chaos was cooking so good.
Go
but
ahead.
Blue Devil Gee wrote, Faith, did you hear about a woman's prison trying to get the trans out of the prisons? And I've heard of that. I've actually heard of a trans man in a woman's prison getting the women pregnant. Now,
Yeah,
how do you let a man with a full penis and balls that only says that he identifies as a woman into a woman's prison? This is
well,
what I'm talking about.
again, like you can't stop that uh of biology, and like that's why I'm trying to tell people like y'all make it seem like gay men don't still be trying to have sex with any and everything, and people so stupidly don't think that's not happening. There's a lot of beards, like down low men that are doing it. There's a lot. I remember in the '90s, I saw a lot of studs pregnant, having 2 and 3 damn children. I'm like, when did you become gay? After what child? Like, what child? How are you pregnant again? Like, but they were like, I don't need no nigga, and I'll be like, okay, all right, this is getting crazy. The Queen Latifah's popping up, and you'll have it where so even some men, and this is something that men don't want to account for, when men said, I'd rather my daughter be gay than be with a nigga. And I'm like, yo, y'all gonna rule the day. Y'all push that where y'all want y'all daughters to be like a boy or act like a nigga because you did your dirt and you're afraid that same karma is going to come back around on your daughter. So you was fine with your daughter being like, and a lot of people gonna say, "Oh, I don't ever remember that." Yes, that was a thing where a lot of fathers or men were fine with. This is why you find it where you're starting to see a lot of women. The men are like, "Yo, bro, homie, my nigga," like, and it's like, okay, this is getting pretty bad. Usually the women start telling the girls like, stop playing with the boys. You're a girl. You go play with the girls. Y'all boys go over there. The girls will try to play with the boys, but at some point, somebody older will start to separate them and remind them like, you're a girl. I get you can wrestle or play football and stuff with them, but you got to remember and keep your femininity intact. Now you have it where you're seeing and I did a few footages of them putting on wigs, if you wigs, lipstick and stuff, and if you misappropriate their pronouns, you are liable to lose your job. You are liable, and I saw that happen at one of my job sites. Whereas to the guy misappropriate, we had a shift leader. Um, he's of the alternate lifestyle. He comes in there wearing women clothing. But he always emulates not a wholesome woman, if you understand what I'm saying. He emulates the ratchet behavior. Like not a class. They emulate ratchet behavior, like with the weave, the
Yeah,
law, the
like
long.
T.S. Madison.
Right. And so what happened was somebody said, like, nigga, you look like a whole this and this. And he lost his job. And people were afraid to say anything because they would lose their job or lose their contract. And of course,
And,
people say we
and,
could.
and, and you bring up a really good point. They always emulate toxic behavior,
Mhm.
maladaptive behavior,
Right.
behavior of people that have mental issues. But that goes back to what I said. I don't see it from the other way around. Now, when I see trans, or how can you say bulldaggers or butches, they're
Mhm.
actually trying to emulate men. Like
Mhm.
they're stoic, they're low key, they're not flamboyant and out there. They're not trying to do all that. But Angela Triggered said something, and this is the comment that I was looking for when I asked the question, why isn't it the other way around? Why isn't it that trans women are not trying to invade real men's spaces like trans men are trying to invade real women's spaces? And here's the comment that I was looking for. She says, because it's easier for men to bully. Bully being the operative word here, because that's what they're turning into, bullies. But I'm going to read her full comment. Because it's easier for men to bully women and overpower them than the other way around. You have any thoughts on that, BMT?
Um, when it comes to that, the empowerment of that coalition of a certain lifestyle, no, it's just they just have the power all around. Now, when it comes to that of the biology or physiology, um, listen, you women can't beat no trans bitch. Y'all just ain't. I've done watched that plenty of times at the club. And what are you niggas doing? Why are y'all watching that man, that doggone fullback, or take on that 5'4" woman? And it could be two or three on one. They all get slaughtered. Like you just not overpowering that strength, and when that testosterone kicks in the overdrive. But however, it's cute when y'all twerking, when y'all laughing, when that person doing y'all hair, X, Y, and Z, and snapping their fingers and cracking jokes, telling the man you got a little penis and stuff. But when they flip that switch and turn on you, because they already got an imbalance, it gets really, really bad and really, really dangerous. And literally, it doesn't end well. Like we literally had to grab one of them because they went in the bathroom to go fight a female. Granted, we wouldn't us here have known. Okay, it's called us security. We would have not known that girl was getting stomped under the sink if her friend had not ran out and say, "Somebody, please help us." And when that would happen, we saw the door swing open and the girl was under the sink being stomped by plastic 7-inch heel. That does a lot of damage if y'all don't know. We had to run in there and get her to the ER emergency care. And the girl and her other girl, that trans and her girlfriend, that trans and her girlfriend ran off laughing like, "Yeah, we showed them bitches. Yeah, we put them in their place." And I'm like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
that man, but you know what the thing about it was? It wasn't foul like how a man, if a man were to beat on a woman, that would have called you understand how that would be foul. It wasn't foul like that. That was how did one of the hosts say that was two women fighting? And I'm like, are you listen, shut up. That was not two women fighting. That was a man. That was
a man.
6 foot. That was a man, 6'1", that literally was stomping on a 5'4" woman that only weighed 120. There was no way that woman was going to ever beat that man, no matter how hard she tried. And so you got to understand, you may think that, oh, we doing here, we clicking nails, we going out, we twerking it up, but it doesn't get any easier. No different for that of a stud. A stud can hang with a bunch of homeboys or young MA. Like, mind you, I'm gonna show y'all this. Young MA was hit on by Kodak Black. Now everybody say Kodak Black was weird for hitting on young MA. Oh, he's attracted to another dude. And I'm like, young MA is a female. What are y'all saying? That's a female. But she said, "Hey, I'm into chicks." Kodak Black said, "At the end of the day, you're still a woman. You do know that, right? Like you're and this is something that a lot of situations do happen where I warn a lot of uh women who are of that type of affiliate where they try to be more masculine. Listen, when liquor kicks in, when substances kick in, and no men's raw nature start to get flustered, that they will sniff you out. They will smell you. That when you start getting drunk or feeling yourself, they're checking at you. Them baggy shorts, that white beater, them taping back your chest, that will not keep them back. And sadly, I have seen them cases that has happened, and I've talked to them where they have given me horrific stories of them being sexually abused. Like it is like, well, they just need to see me as one of the fellas. I'm sorry,
Shit.
ladies, you are a woman. At the end of genetic nature, if a man has the same likes, affiliates, and courses of nature like you, I noticed
Mm-hmm.
there's something different about Queen. Like, goddamn, like, hey, bro, chill out. We playing 2K. Yeah, but goddamn, like, you hitting me on my arm and I'm hitting you on your arm and we play fighting. Next, we rolling around and I'm trying to put my tongue in your mouth.
Yeah.
Now, y'all, and,
Now
and
we
people
we
say,
now we
go
don't
ahead.
have too much time here because I'm gonna start wrapping it
I
up in
do,
a few. But I wanted
I do
I wanted to
apologize.
get Chaos Rain's thoughts as well
Yeah,
because I
go
know
ahead.
that he might have a lot to say about it. But before we go to Chaos, I wanted to highlight Doug's comment because it goes back to the prison comment that I made earlier. But he says I forget which prison in California, but the prison had to put in a condom dispenser to prevent pregnancy from transformers in the women's prison. That's some shit.
Mm.
And also I wanted to add something to what BMT said before I get to Chaos. But the reason why I also feel that trans women don't try to invade men's spaces is because they don't want the real man consequences. Now,
Yep.
if you're a woman and you're sitting up here saying you a man and you get into an altercation with a man, guess what? They know that that man is going to overpower them and whoop their ass. See, trans women ain't stupid. They not going to step up and aggressively try to be a man all the way. Not all the way. At some point in time, I think that these people failed at being men or women, and so they decided to just swap out. Like a trans woman failed at being a woman, so now she's gonna be a man, but she don't want to be a man for real, so she ain't gonna step to no men. She don't want to be that man for real. The same way that if a trans woman try to overpower another woman and rape her, she don't want that man consequence. Because in cases of rape, the men are the ones that get the lower end of that stick. So trans women ain't really trying to invade real men's spaces like that because there's real men consequences. Whereas on the other flip side of it, trans men, that these are men that failed at being men. Let's just be honest. And so now they want to put panties on. Well, there's no danger for them invading real women's spaces, like the lady commented earlier.
Mm.
So they're going to be more aggressive, and they're able to come in and bully weaker women who are weaker and children who are weaker than them. And I think that it's disgusting. But go ahead, Chaos.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you find out that these so-called transformers were in there mud hole stomping a young girl in the bathroom with the heels is testament to let you know, say that they are a protected class. And the base question, and I know people don't want to hear this, but when we talk about say what we should do about our children now with these school systems now, because if they really start push forth now this, which is already probably in effect, because let's be honest, if you're doing that and you're not getting locked up, I would say it's already there. The bill's already put in place. It's already legalized and all stuff. That you might have to make some hard decisions as a parent, regardless you working at a job. You go have to make the conscious decision if you're alone or with your man. They're saying, did you want your children to participate in the school system? Number one, because the school system is not getting better. Matter of fact, the school system didn't really provide anything anyway to a lot of people anyway for the last 50 more years. As you know, we're bomb blast in education. They say it does, but it doesn't. Because outside the world, everybody else learn and come up in certain paces than us. Because they're not in the business to try to educate the American population. They want to prepare people as perpetual consumers. And you can't have that by educating people efficiently, reading at a certain level, doing math or at a proper level. They got this thing called No Child Left Behind back in the 90s. And they've been passing on a lot of people. And the reason why that is because they already set the template for perpetual consumers. And another thing that you did not know about this thing, I did a show on this. How they talk about, there was an article, hit piece talking about the unwantables, the useless, not eaters, but they said it's a special word they call it. I forgot what it's called, but it was something I did. And I'm thinking, how the hell you create a society of useless people when you allow it? You do not invest anything for your people to be educated and function in society. Matter for you to diverse, you actually spend more money for the degeneracy and make them perpetual consumers. So you're creating the class that you say you don't like. I tell people many times when I find these articles, they write hit pieces about American people, black people, or just general. It's all making fun and jokes to the society they really want to orchestrate at the end of the day. And they want to create a degenerate society. Remember, America was built on criminality, and it will end the way ours came into effect: rape, plunder, and pillage. That format has not
Absolutely.
and abandoned in the last couple hundred years, and it will never do. So as long as we participate in the society, all you're gonna see at the end of the day, you always keep in mind when you find acts like this towards other human beings, keep in mind said this is a society that was orchestrate and create for one thing only: rape, plunder, pillage. See, rape is known throughout these people for the last couple hundred years, and they only put things in law in place, just continue the rape. And now with these people that are sexually confused, and they know they're sexually confused, that they want the whole world, especially us in the West, to accept their degeneracy. And if they do not, they're going to put instill punishments. You get me? And they're going to say, try me, people. Just try me. That right there, when anybody do a video on a TikTok platform that's not controlled by the United States and say, I'm going to do this, try me, that's a declaration of war. And anybody that never caught this, and mind you, I like sharing things like that to make it go viral, because let's be honest, this person could be going viral, but let's say we're going to take this seriously. You're the last person I want to really promote, because one thing, you're going to have that channel on TikTok, and you're going to possibly go and do it, and there might be no consequence, because the people that watch that and don't really and still find you and know you're going to do this, they better have their weapons ready. Have your blowtorch ready. Get your weapon, your gun, your knife, whatever. Don't be around these facilities where they exist, because the end result is you're going to be a victim, and they're going to walk away scot-free with a smile on their face.
Yep.
This is like a haven for degenerates. And this country orchestrate and construct a way where they are so protected that now you actually are in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. The final thing I'm gonna say, because we're at 2 minutes, almost 2 hour mark, is this: I had a good friend that does content for years. I had him on my show back in podcast days, and etc. And the funny thing, he fought these homosexuals for years and years and years, and he died last year, and at an early age, in his early 50s, right? And he always talking about the transgender agenda. These people are not chameleons. These people are, if you look at people in higher places, are probably transsexuals. They could be men or women in disguise that you don't know of. And I never thought that, but now that I'm thinking that what you present today, that what he said last year or the year before is been revealed. You get me? Is this that he couldn't keep fighting it, because, like I said, and he wrote a book on this too. And I got flanked for him on my podcast on another channel years ago. And I'll tell you, the book is called Definition of a Broke Ass. I'm not sure if it still exists on Amazon, because that book was pulled out. Because he talks about the homosexual agenda. And it's very much a short read book. But these people, especially in not only America but Canada, had a problem with that book, that they tried to don't want that in circulation. But he was telling some harsh truths on it. The effects of you as a man getting pegged. What's the consequence going to happen to you? You know, he go in detail on every little thing. You get me?
And you know what? Pegging is the new butt breaking, by the way. And that was introduced to Black women and,
Okay.
and then later women as a whole by the LGBTQ community.
I did not know that.
Yes,
Okay.
because they
Yeah.
were telling women that the man has a sexual thing in his booty hole that gets him aroused, and they
Yeah,
were talking
it's
to
something a climax, like some
yeah,
type
they
of
were talking to women about how to arouse their man in this manner, and so women started introducing this act in the bedroom.
And see, what they're doing is they're trying to get it to where all sex acts are done in the bedroom by all genders. So the lines are now blurred. So now, if
Wow.
you're a man that's used to being pegged with a dildo up your behind by your woman,
Yep.
what's the difference between a dildo and a real man at this point? So now
You're right.
everybody's doing everything to everybody in the bedroom, and the sexual lines are blurred.
Yeah. They're installing the homosexual, what they call demons, in a lot of people, and they reinforce it by sexual acts. That's why I tell people many times. Once you get beyond, you know, the eating part, and you start going and indulge in, you know, bodily fluids like those type things, it's only going to be a wrap in time. Even to put, and I project this 10 years ago when I did this on some other podcast, that with black people, as time progressed and the sexual degeneracy increased, if not ready, black people are going to start engaging in bestiality, and that is like the farthest form of degeneracy besides everything else that they're doing. Because let's be honest, it's like a drug. If you're engaged in degenerate behaviors like this, you want to find something to spice things up.
Oh,
And
and
then,
Chaos, drop your YouTube channel too. And also, I wanted to, before you continue, I wanted
yeah.
to say shout out to Ja Inzola. She
Mhm.
is a new sub on my channel, and I just wanted to say I appreciate that, sis. All my new subs, all the people that subscribe, all the people that have joined my channel membership. Here
Mhm.
is a round of applause for you. Thank you so much. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
Like I was saying before, one thing is evident, that this is what's happening, and I tell people you have to be prepared, you gotta be prepared. I'll probably drop my channel now. That it's here, it's coming, you
Oh, I'm
know.
sorry. Ja and Zola is a man. I'm sorry, Ja. All
Yeah,
right, I'm sorry.
yeah. All right, I dropped my channel, but yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, it's problematic, and the only thing as people could do now is they have to be very informed. They have to be very informed now and be up on the politics side of things of the bills that's already passed already. And if they are passed, we always got to think, what's the next proactive state to do? You get me? The
Hmm.
next proactive, and that's the one for people. Women go down there. Yeah, yes, Juju. They're doing all this now, and they're doing this because they think it's some, like, what do you call it, sexual gratification, you know, and they think that by doing this, that they're pleasing the male, you know. And I'm saying, no, you're not. When you do this, you actually open the doors of other demonic spit crap. You get me?
Hmm.
So I tell people many times, yeah. I was just checking. I tell people many times that you have to watch all behaviors you're engaged in. Question everything. Don't engage in it. If you don't know the history, and I got 2 books, even dealing with the history of homosexuality, from the Feminization of the Black Male by Ma Baruti to Warren Horizon, and the one that my good friend Dawa Yasura, that's now with the Ancestors, he wrote that book back in 2011, 2012, and he revised it like a few years back, but he's no longer here. So like I said, the agenda is already complete. The only thing black people should look for, move forward, is now you have to be proactive and really make the conscious move what you're going to do moving forward, because now it's here. They have got everything in place. They're going to apply pressure on the population, especially your mother. You're going to have to be even more paying attention to detail with your children now moving forward, because now these people are, let's be honest, they come after the children already. They're not focused on adults. They just come at children and say, try me. You get me? That's just
Hmm.
they just dare you say this, I'm gonna do something, and what? You get me? That's what they're doing now. They said I could do
Well,
this.
I'm gonna play that video one last time. What
Good.
Chaos Rain is talking about.
Yes, play
But
now.
Chaos, I want to ask you, what message do you have for the women that have supported the trans male community? What message
Mm.
do you have for them?
I love y'all, ladies. I said myself that as a man that I don't accept certain behaviors. I don't have friends with people, especially people of that group. And the reason why, because when you're sick, you're going to affect your sickness towards me in any fashion, and you want me to accept it. If you're a black woman of any age, 18 up or below, and you have these people that are a part of that group, my advice, I'm going to be nice, is don't entertain them. If they want to be, if it's needed, okay. But you should not be feeling too giving them the comfort to be around you. Because one thing is evident with people that's a part of that group, they want to learn and examine and study you. So the chance of them to potentially get a heterosexual man to, engage in, some form of weirdness. That's the end game. And here's another thing that people don't understand. Have you noticed that people that are a part of that group, they're not looking for other people that's gay? They're looking for people that are healthy minded and that's heterosexual. You notice that?
Yes, I have noticed that.
So
They don't want their own.
They don't want their
They
own.
don't.
So why you have a group that is so fighting for something but don't want to be amongst the population with their own? Oh, it's like the walk of the living dead. I'm gonna bite you and turn you a zombie. I'm going to what they said. I'm going to scare you, lie to you, so it gets you in an uncomfortable position. And once you find out, what you gonna do? Because I could tell that I'll put out the word that you are gay because you attacked me. What you gonna do? See, they apply pressure in the population. So if you're a woman and you're friends with these people, I will have to start reconsider that. Because now you have to draw a line. And I know majority of women not gonna do this because look at the gender war we have today, Faye. The reason why women are comfortable with these weirdos is because they want these weirdos to go at and attack black men because black men has a certain affinity hate for black women. That's why they have friends with them. But they don't understand they're using you. So that way they can get these signals that don't hate you so they can potentially have
a trans black man is still a black man.
Yes.
But Doug said it best. He says, I would say to women, if you support transformers, you're throwing away 100 years of women's progress in society. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now today.
All the work that women participate or what they try to do, it's going to be in the toilet. Even to the point where they said that now you can't call yourself a woman, you got to call yourself birthing women or you're a cis person. I'm saying no person in the earth or in the universe comes to
and I immediately tell them, you want me to adhere to your pronouns, don't call me cis.
Yeah.
I'm a woman.
Yeah.
I was a woman first before you even matriculated and came talking your bullshit. So respect me.
Yeah. You have to. You got to. At the end of the day, people gotta be very mindful and careful. They have to be careful. So like I said, they got to be able to really think long and hard direction they want to take it.
Exactly.
That's all. Yeah, go ahead.
And I also wanted to highlight Angela's comment. Angela Triggered says, I would say they are assisting in their own demise and helping themselves be robbed in every way. Bullseye.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you play the video again so everybody can see it. See what really the agenda is. We have to see it. And have a clear understanding.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the video on here. And we're going to go ahead and end it on that. Chaos, thank you so much for joining the panel. Yeah. Also, shout out to BMT. He's not here right now, but thank you as well for sharing your expertise as being a bouncer in the club and witnessing a lot of the transformer attacks on real women. We appreciate Doug for posting all of those different legislators that they're trying to push right under our noses to protect predators and not women and children. Thank you all for coming in. And with that, I'm going to leave you with a word from a transformer and how he's putting you on notice as women who want to protect your children from him.
Dangerous animal. So if you want to die on that If you back a wild animal into a corner, they're going to become a dangerous animal. If you back a wild animal into a corner, they're going to become a dangerous animal. So if you want to die on that hill of yours of righteousness and moral majority, then you go right ahead. I dare you to try and stop me from going into a women's bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. I dare you to try and stop a transgender woman in my presence from using the bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. This is a call to action and a call to arms to everybody within the United States that are scared, worried, have children that are transgender, lesbian, bi, or gay. This is a call to action. You need to arm up. Plain and simple. Go out, buy a gun. Learn how to use it efficiently, through and through. Because the time to act is now. You need to protect yourself, and you need to protect your fellow transgender brothers and sisters and theys and thems. You need to protect the rest of us in the LGBT community, as I'm going to do myself. Because there are lots of people like me who are not afraid to die. I love my girlfriends to death, but I would rather die for them to secure their safety, freedom, and future than to live and not have anything done. So you go ahead. You protect your kids from me using the bathroom. You've been warned.
Ladies, you've been warned. All right, guys, that's the show. And once again, I appreciate and love each and every one of you. Yes, Demetrius Hagashikata, you came late. But you know what? Please catch it on the replay. People, if you haven't already, hit the like button because that pushes me into the top, up to the top, and it gets this message to the top of the algorithm. Please help this video be seen by sharing it to your community tabs. Get more eyes on this channel. This is the Faith Factor. I love you guys. Smooches. And I'm out. Holla.